And we're live back to you again with another episode of the State of Emergency podcast. And this episode is unofficially sponsored by the Czech beer, Bachelor's Beer, Bacalage. Yeah, Muddy Blogger. Back in the studio, back with my main man, Drew. What's going on, man?
Nothing, man. How you doing? I'm back up in here, ready to have a good time.
Sounds good, man.
Oh,
man. So what's going on in the world at the moment?
I don't know. I just saw something right now that said that the ban is bad for Russian vodka.
What's going on?
Because they're putting those sanctions on Russia or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, did you know that fool's fighting against a new world order?
Vladimir Putin?
Yeah.
I heard something about that, man.
Yeah, he's going against them, dude.
Yeah. That makes sense, man. You know, I mean, I think that's why that he's acting so aggressive towards all these other satellite countries. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't want to deal with all that bullshit, probably.
Well, I've always heard he was somewhat of an okay guy back in the day. I don't know. Like, he banned GMO food, did like all this other stuff that we would never do here. How is he a bad person?
Yeah, I don't know. See, that's the thing, right? I mean, that's a question about how much information that we hear in the West that is true and what is not true. You know what I mean? That's really kind of hard to for people to navigate at the moment, I think.
Well, it's the same thing with what was the recent one, the Iran or whatever, and those people. Nobody has any idea nobody has any idea what's going on yet. Here we're for the Israel people, stand by the Israel people, and they don't even know like what the real deal is, and those people could be the bad people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you just don't know, right? Because you don't know how reliable the information coming out from these countries are. And number two, by the time the information gets to the West, I mean, it could be so diluted. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not for a country that works for NATO, so I'm not for Ukraine. That sucks what's happening to people. They don't deserve that shit. But as far as the leaders that run the country, I'm not for NATO and all that garbage. Just saying.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I can understand that.
I'm not for Russia. I'm not for war. I'm not for any of that crap, to be honest. So,
yeah, I mean, those people are put in an unfair situation, though, especially just the citizens. They don't want to get involved in any of that. You know what I mean?
Right. I would have left, though. I would have left, probably.
Yeah, a lot of people are leaving. I mean,
unless you have nowhere to go, then you stand and you fight. But until then, I would get up out of the city and take everything that I had. Other than that, I wouldn't fucking stay there and fight unless like everywhere else was like that or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, here's the issue, right? And here's a fundamental question. I mean, what would you really be fighting for? I mean, I get it. You're home, but I mean, it seems like you would be at an unfair advantage. You wouldn't win that fight. So I think the best would be just to leave.
You could go set up shop somewhere else, though. Like, I mean, yeah, it's home where you grew up, but anywhere's home that you go and set up shop. So it's like, it's just things, you know what I mean?
Especially at today's economy, right? Because some people are like YouTubers or influencers. I mean, you could do that anywhere in the world, you know?
Pretty much, right? You're right.
Yeah, if you're an IT person or something like that, most of the jobs are, you know, all around the world. You can get that anywhere. But still, on one hand, you're right. I mean, it's your homeland and things like that. But on the other hand, I mean, maybe that chapter's closed and you start a life somewhere new. I don't know, you know.
I think that's what life's about. What are you supposed to do? Chill in the same place your whole life? That's when people start eroding and getting crazy. Like, don't think outside the box or see outside the box is because they do the same shit all the time and have these very small fucking views. And it's like, you know, I don't know.
Well, that's an interesting topic that you just brought up, right? Because I was thinking about that, right? Because you just brought up an interesting point about information, right? How do we know that some people are bad and some people are good, right? And I was thinking about that earlier today, right? Let's say, Drew, do you watch an NBA team or NFL team or anything like that?
No, not anymore.
No. Well, have you got like a favorite sports team or anything like that?
To be honest, bro, I'm not even watching sports anymore like that. But like, if I did, it was like Real Madrid back in the day, or like Manchester United. Like when I watch Ronaldo play or whatever, I just like watching him play. I like
Sure.
other teams. I don't mean that, but
Well, see, here's my point, right? I'm gonna make it like a full circle point, right? So let's say you like Real Madrid back then and now, for example, right?
Mhm.
And let's say you get really interested in the team, like you care about what the owner's doing, if they're gonna move stadium, who the players are, what players are coming in, what players are leaving, right? And all of the things that are connected with Real Madrid. So you know that there's other teams around Real Madrid. You're not completely oblivious to it, but because you're so hyper focused on Real Madrid, like you don't get the full information on all the other teams, right? Because you know what I mean? You're not, if you're worried about Real Madrid, you're not worried about what, like, for example, Manchester United transfer window is doing. You don't care about that, right?
No.
Right. So when you get little bits of information about the other teams, you don't really get a sense of whether those teams are bad or good. You just know that they exist, but you don't get the full information until you talk to somebody that, let's say, Manchester United, and then you have a conversation, and then you figure out, oh yeah, okay, there's some similarities between the two teams. Maybe they're good, maybe they're bad, but that takes conversation, right? If you're hyper focused on one thing, then I don't think you get the full context of what's going on around you. You know what I mean? And I think that's what happens in the West, right? We get a bunch of information. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But because we're so hyper focused on different things, we kind of brush it aside, if you're trying to get what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. That's what I think happens a lot with information.
I don't know. And people don't. People don't like to be. What's the word? Like they don't like to be challenged in a certain way, I guess, and especially with like they have a seniority or they're older or they think they lived on this earth longer than you. That doesn't mean that they learned the same shit that you did, though. That's what bothers me. It's like we can all learn from each other. And if I know a lot about something and you're not willing to hear me out, that's kind of like ignorance at its finest, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's almost like a delusion almost as well.
Dude, it's fucking frustrating though. You try to tell somebody or talk to them like that, and like they don't even want to hear it, and they tell you that's your opinion. It's not my opinion. That's fact. You can go look it up.
Well, see, that's what I'm talking about. I think a lot of the conversations, especially in the West, right? You have a lot of people who are like that, right? They don't like. Here's the thing, right? Because you'll be. Let's say you're having a conversation, you'll be bringing up a bunch of facts, and then then they brush it off. That's your opinion, and you're like, no, that's fact. You look it up. Or they say, like, give me one fact, and you say that one fact, and they're like, no, that's only one fact. They don't even accept the fact that they give you. You know what I mean? It's never enough. It's either,
Never enough. Perfect word.
yeah, it's never enough, right? Like you give them a fact, they don't accept it. You give them, they say, no, that doesn't count. And you give them another fact. Oh, that's two fact. You know what I mean? They just brush it off.
That's stupid, huh?
Yeah, it's really stupid.
I don't know what's wrong with people, to be honest.
And it's frustrating to have conversations like that with people because you don't get anywhere. You know what I mean?
Hey, but it's funny you say that though, right? Because I was talking to Kyle about it earlier, but just talking about like, okay, so like some of the girls I dated, like you can't even fucking work things out with them, dude, or they're mad for like a week. Who the fuck does that, dude? Like usually I'm pissed for like the second, or like I'll be pissed for the day. I've never been that mad that long. I might be bothered, but I'm saying I'd rather. It always bothers me not to work it out like right then and there. And it's like if you can't work it out right then and there, that's weird, dude. And like they don't want to, they want to work it out later. Sometimes I understand like you need a break before you talk about things or whatever, or the other person wants a break. They're different than you. They work different. But there should always be that medium where you meet in the middle and you work it out. Other than that, it never gets worked out, dude. I hate that. And that's what not even relationships though, that's with people too. And it's like it's just strange. People are strange, dude. It's like why are you embarrassed or why are you scared to confront the situation? Let's talk about it now and let's get it over with. Instead, you want to drag it out and make it a weird thing and then make it awkward when we see each other again. Like, I don't know. I think that's weird.
Yeah, that's definitely weird. And I watched this it's kind of a new podcast called Fresh and Fit. Shout out to them. Yeah. And they always talk with there's these two guys, right? And they talk with women on the show, right? About sex or about, relationship dynamics between men and women, right? And
Uh-huh.
9 times out of 10, all the women that are there, and this is shows like the difference just in not just in the difference between men and women, how we communicate, but just in people in general. And they'll state fact after fact after fact. And then the girls would be like, well, but, or the women would be like, well, but there's this, and what if this, and what if that? And they're like, no, bro, like live in reality a little bit. You know what I mean? They don't accept the reality of what the situation is. And you could tell that the hosts, they get frustrated sometimes with these women because it's like you don't get anywhere with people when you have conversations like that, and it's like frustrating. It's
Wow.
like, yeah, it's like they like they're not open to receive new information, which is a weird concept for me
Me too. I don't
because
understand that. I thought you're always supposed to, and then they'll be the ones preaching you that you're supposed to always be learning and be open minded. Yet they're the ones that's not. Dude, when I won't put it down, but someone was telling me when I was talking about the Biden speech,
yeah,
they were telling me like you need to be open minded and blah blah, and they're like the least open minded person. Like they've come a long way for sure from where they've been, and
yeah.
like listening to me, and but like telling me I need to be dude. The guy doesn't even complete sentences. I don't need to be open minded to that shit. What the fuck?
Well, wait. Well, yeah. Well, President Biden just had the State of the Union address, didn't he?
Yeah, but that fool's a fucking retard. I was listening to the whole. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I don't care, dude.
Yeah.
I know. I already know what's foreseen and what's for to come. I don't care all the crap that they put out. So he was
Well,
saying in
yeah,
one comment, he said he was saying the masks are going to come off.
yeah.
It's like, but nobody listened to what he said after that. But it's going to be a tool that we'll have around. It's like, man, fuck you, dude. Nobody heard that. I bet.
No, they
Sorry,
didn't.
sorry. I hate that guy. I'm not trying to be like all vulgar and whatever, but fuck that fool, dude, for real.
Yeah, no, for real. No, that's cool. I mean, like, for example, I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about, Drew. That's they, what happens is, I think a lot of people have selective hearing, right? So they say,
Yes.
like, so what he said was, that we don't have to wear masks anywhere, or they're coming off, right? So
Right.
everybody hyper focused on that sentence, but then the sentence after, or the 3 or 4 sentences after, nobody pays attention to that. You know what I mean?
No, because maybe. Oh, I know why. Because you heard what you wanted to hear, and then you just shut off after that. That makes sense.
Right. So he hit that frequency that he said, bam, all Americans don't, for example, I don't know, I don't want to misquote him, so I don't know what he said. So because I didn't hear the speech, but he said, like, we don't have to wear masks anymore. Boom, they got you. He got you, right? Because that's what you wanted to hear.
But then he threw in it'll be a tool for the future, or could be a tool. But that means that they'll keep it around. I could see them next year or something bringing it back again for a little bit or something, just to fuck with people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I could see that. I could see it never ending and them keep doing that until people like, when are you gonna wake up, dude? I already said 2 years ago, like, let's not get into this and don't
Yeah.
comply. And it's like 2 years later, I didn't anyways, but 2 years later, now all of a sudden they're coming off. Get the fuck out of here.
Right, exactly. Well, you know what he's gonna, what exactly. So what's gonna happen is, like, something could be, it could be something off, right? It could be anything. It could be like, oh, the problem with it is that the mask could come back in a situation that has nothing to do with medical or something like that. You know what I mean? It could be
Well, what would it be
like
for then? I wonder.
I don't know, but it could be like, you know what? We just realized that in soccer stadiums, uh, you know, there's too many people. We got to wear a mask. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to
Just
be
to just to prevent any spread, not COVID, but just to make sure nobody gets sick. And it's like, what?
something like that,
Yeah,
right?
that
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah.
yeah,
No, what makes me upset is the people that, and we don't have to keep talking about this, but I'm just saying that what makes me upset is the people that are like fat or overweight. Well, let's not be mean, but or like talk down. Let's just say overweight or
yeah,
whatever, or don't take care of themselves.
sure.
Those are the people that are trying to tell you what to do, or telling people, "Oh, I just do it because for other people." What? You don't obviously take care of yourself for other people. So what do you mean you're going to wear a mask for other people? You don't make sense, dude, at all.
Yeah, then there's a lot of people that are like this, right? Because they say, like, It's similar to like a person that says don't smoke, but then goes back behind the bleachers and has like 3 cigarettes. You know what I mean?
Or says don't smoke, and they're like, "Oh, I smoke weed, but I don't smoke cigarettes."
Right. Or a
I mean that is different, but sorry.
it's different. That's true. That you make a good point, but it's still kind of in the ballpark of the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're still smoking something. You're still inhaling some kind of substance into your lungs, and then
Yeah,
exhaling
yeah,
it out.
it's like saying I don't drink. It's like I don't drink alcohol. I just drink beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's like it's
Yeah,
alcohol.
exactly. So it's not being hypocritical. It's not quite that. It isn't quite hypocritical, but it's borderline hypocritical. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's super critical or hypocritical. I'm sorry.
Y- I think it. See, that's where I might disagree with you in that sense. Like it would be different if he says like don't drink beer, but then he drinks beer. You know what I mean?
Wait, what do you mean? Explain.
Like so, yeah. So for example, like if somebody says I don't drink alcohol, but I drink beer, right? That's not as hypocritical as somebody who says I don't drink any or telling you don't drink beer, don't drink alcohol, but then goes and you'll see him at the pub drinking beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, I make that distinction a little bit. That there's a
I don't
little
I don't
there's a
even care that
little
much anymore.
difference. Hmm?
There's a difference. Well, I was just saying I don't even care anymore. Like I was thinking about that. Like this, my buddy was telling me. He was telling me he's a firefighter, and his captain, who's older, was saying like, so if you look it up, it's like a couple drinks, like I think 6 beers or something, in like a day or two, you're an alcoholic or something like that, or like
Right.
they deem that an alcoholic if you have over a certain amount, just a couple beers. So the guy's like, well, I could go to the river for the weekend and have 6 to 8 beers in one day. So you're calling me an alcoholic now? He said that doesn't make sense. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
No, I don't believe any of that shit, dude. I don't
Yeah,
judge anybody, bro. If you want to fucking, I think it's what you do, dude. If you just sit around and drink all day and don't do anything, that's a different story. If you still handle your stuff and you drink, I mean, yeah, you shouldn't drink every day. I mean, I shouldn't smoke weed every day, but it's like,
sure.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. What are you gonna do? Like, and if they're still a good person and it doesn't bother them, like they're not hitting, like you're not getting in trouble. You're not fucking. They don't beat their wife, stuff like that. They just do their thing. That's what they like. I don't know. I'm not gonna hate on that person. I'm not gonna talk shit
Yeah,
on them.
sure. Yeah, no, I don't think that anybody should, I think they should just be left up. People should just be left alone in
A
most
lot of
cases.
people judge, though. You know that.
Yeah, I know that for sure. Like, but I think for me, I think it's a premature judgment. You know what I mean? Without fully noticing the full story. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I mean, exactly like that point that you made. I mean, if you have 8 beers at a weekend, I mean, look at the situation you're in. You might be on a boat, you might be fishing, you're having a good time, or you're swimming and you're thirsty, and then you have 6 or 8 beers. That doesn't make you an alcoholic, right? You're just having fun.
Just having a good time, but then they deem you that because you've had over the certain amount. But then that's what I'm saying. Who's writing the standard for that certain amount? It's just like these people on TV telling you what to do. It's like, who the fuck? That guy's the he knows it all. I'm just gonna listen to that guy. Why? Why would I listen to that guy? That's weird.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my opinion.
Right. And my opinion is that too. I mean, so you have a guy on TV, for example, who says, like, you can't do this. And that guy knows everything, right? But the people around you in your life, they don't know anything. But this guy does. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
They're on a platform for a reason, and that's a fact, dude. And it's like sometimes you listen to these people and you're like, dude, these people are retarded, like a retard or something, or like I don't even know. Or the views that they have and the views that they depict on the people and make them think a certain way. It's just a horrible thing, dude. It's not a good thing. Because a lot of people look, that's another thing. A lot of people aren't smart enough to decipher things. So it's like they watch TV and they absorb it and think that's true. And it's like, there's more to TV, dude. I get my information and filter through it and then figure out what's right. And then I add up the stuff that I read, that you research, and then that people talk about, and then you kind of align it along with not what you believe in, just the road that it's taking you down to get you to the end result. I don't know if you ever find it because it's a lot of information, but you know what I mean. You're always searching.
Yes. Yeah, that what I think is like the people on TV that tell you these things, what you should or shouldn't do. I think what I believe now, whether it's I could be completely off the mark, but what I think is they want to make you feel guilty for something. And then when they make you feel guilty of that something, then you go and see, you won't seek help, but you'll seek other avenues because they told you what to do, right? So they said, oh, don't smoke cigarettes and go. So you say, okay, this person said don't smoke cigarettes, so I'll don't smoke cigarettes. But they lead you down a path that isn't even your thoughts anymore. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, that's what I mean. You don't even you just hit it on the head. You don't start thinking for yourself, bro. You're just,
Yes, exactly. So like, so going back to the fresh and fit, right? The fresh and fit. So the women on the panel, right, will be enjoying themselves. And then they'll ask them a question and it'd be like, well, for example, right? I don't remember the question, but I'll make an example, right? So they'll be like, so what do you think about strawberry ice cream, right? It's something different than that, but for the sake of argument, right? What and then so she'll be like, you know what? I was told that strawberry ice cream is not good for you, and my friend told me not to eat strawberry ice cream, and strawberry ice cream, it will make you fat and something like that, right?
Mhm.
And then they asked, well, then the panel would be like, well, have you ever tried strawberry ice cream? And she would say something like, well, I never really tried it because my friend said that it's not good for me. But you know what? One time I tried it and I figured out that it wasn't so bad. And it was kind of like tasty and delicious. And I realized that I was only hating strawberry ice cream because my friend told me to hate it. And so I wasn't hating strawberry ice cream for myself, but I was hating strawberry ice cream through my friend. And then the host was like, ding, 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 ding. You finally opened up your mind to think for yourself. And she's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was an amazing feeling. I was like, fuck, bro. Like, what? And they, how old was this woman? That woman was like fucking 33 years old. I said, what the fuck? You should be able to think for yourself, don't you think?
Damn.
Dude.
You're right. For sure. 100%.
So she was hating something because her friend told her to hate it, but she didn't even question if she really hated it or not, dude. That's scary.
Yeah, that is scary.
Dude,
Sorry.
I don't
I'm getting scared by looking at the news right now. Kind of.
what are you watching?
Nothing, dude. Just saw this
Yeah.
Russia, United States stuff. Hamburg authorities seized yacht of sanctioned Russian boat or something like that.
Yeah.
People keep talking about like nuclear war and shit.
Dude, I know. So, hey, Drew, when was the point in your life that you realized that uh like you were able to read through the lines and have conversations with people? What was like the thing that made you realize that you can have a real conversation with people?
I guess just people that are more mature, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, that's a good. Now, I don't want to talk down on people, but like, you can't trust people, man. Like, look at the story I was just telling you before we got on on the stream or whatever. I thought my neighbor
Yeah.
was all cool, super low key, blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden he's asking for $200, dude. I wouldn't even ask like Ben or somebody I grew up with. I wouldn't even ask you for $200, dude. I've never asked you for money, never.
Never.
I would never ask you for money anyways. I'm saying even
Yeah.
if I was hurting, maybe if I was going to go poor, and I'm sure you
Yeah.
would help me out and I would pay you
Of course.
back. But I'm saying I don't even know this guy. That's crazy. I'm just saying, like, it almost makes you feel awkward, and you're not even the one asking for it. What?
Right. So that goes back to the point. That person was trying to make you feel guilty, right?
I didn't feel guilty
Because,
whatsoever, but yeah, I guess maybe so.
well, no, not you personally,
Oh,
but I mean,
man.
like, you see what I'm saying? He's trying to play that guilt card or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, oh, fuck, man. He's really hurting. Maybe I should give him the $200. Do you know what I mean? Like, people are really good at playing on making you feel guilty so that you do stuff that you wouldn't normally do if you were a rational thinker. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
So I don't know, what was the moment that you were like, or if you have a moment, was there a moment that you were like, wow, I'm a kind of a, you know, logical thinker? Was
I
there
don't
any kind of
I don't see. Well, I'll ask you this because I've
Mhm,
known you for so long, and
mhm,
I've always been smart, right? But I don't think I
right?
was logical back in the day. You
Yeah,
were definitely more grounded and logical and smart back then. Compared, like I was all over the place. I don't know, man. Probably the last like 4 or 5 years. Probably after I broke with my ex, dude. Maybe a little
yeah,
bit. Maybe before that. Maybe when I got with her. But like I started to wake up and do my own thing, and I didn't really care what other people thought. And I never cared what other people thought really in the first place. I mean, I did. It
yeah,
bothered me, but now it's more so you kind of affiliate with the people that you can have a strong conversation with, and it's legit. It's not just about nothing. It's actually
yeah,
about you're learning something. I don't know. I don't
yeah,
know. I have come a long way because I don't think I have always been like this at all, and my vocabulary has increased big time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand that, man. Yeah, it's like for me, for me, when I was younger, I was always like independent on my own, but I realized that I could have like decent conversations with people was definitely when I started reading more, because when I started reading more, my vocabulary game upped. Do you know what I mean?
You leveled
And
up or what?
yeah, I leveled up with my vocabulary. So once your vocabulary levels up, see, here's the thing, right? When I was on YouTube and I was listening to these guys like before, like I wasn't listening to Cooper before, but like guys that were like, Joe Rogan had some guys on, like I'm talking about like 6 years ago, and
Yeah.
there was these guys that were talking about things, and I don't really remember, but I didn't understand them. You know what I mean? I didn't understand it because they were using vocabulary that I didn't know. So I was like, fuck, man. Well, I mean, they're speaking that I knew that what they were speaking about, I can understand the language, but I didn't understand the full context of it because one, these guys are deep thinkers. Two, they're in fields that I didn't even know existed. And I was like, fuck, man, I gotta do something. So I started reading, and then my vocabulary up. And then I rewatched some of those old Joe Rogan podcasts, and now I understand everything that not everything, that would be arrogant of me, but you know what I mean? I had a better grasp of what they were talking about.
Dude, I literally think I'm not gonna lie. After watching, I've watched probably the most videos out of anybody of the Cooper thing, probably almost
Yeah,
all of them, and I still watch some. I watched one last night, and that's what I
yeah,
was posting off of.
yeah,
I gained a lot of knowledge from him, and
yeah.
I think that expand. I don't read that much, man. That expanded my vocabulary big time when I started looking
Sure.
into the laws, and then it just like opens a different part of like your brain, or it's weird. I don't know. It's just weird. It just started coming. I never used to talk like that or could. I mean, I've always been a good talker, and I can talk with people. Not like that, not fake or
Yeah,
anything. Just meant like I have a good conversation if I want to. But it's
yeah.
like the shit, like you said, I didn't understand shit about what he was talking about before. And then I started doing the research. Then the more that it starts adding up, and then everything starts fitting together. And you're like, holy crap, dude, I know like way too much now.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
yeah, because you start connecting the dots because you fucking finally understand the vocabulary. You know
Other
what I
people are
mean?
like, this fool's crazy. Or like, you're crazy. Dude, just, yeah, not really. But then they start to realize it just later.
But I have a theory. Now, the theory could be off, right? But I think that people might call him crazy because of the language and the words that he uses. People don't understand it. Now, the words that he's using are the correct words to use in that conversation, right? So the person that is just listening and be like, oh, he's saying this, and you don't catch all the vocabulary words, all the words, and you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
that guy's crazy. But once you start understanding most of the words that he's saying, you're like, fuck, nah, he's not crazy. That makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or like, you can't, it, you're right. Because you can't put the sentence together if you don't know what all the words mean. And
Right.
and he talks on he's pretty smart. He talks on like a pretty high intelligence level. And like, yeah, if you don't have a good vocabulary, or you don't have somewhat of a high intelligence, you're not going to be able to keep up with this shit.
Exactly.
That's
So
why
you know what they
I
do?
know I'm smarter
Yeah.
than most people, man. Like, not like that. I'm not like, I mean, like, I'm saying, yeah, kind of out here, like that.
Yeah.
Don't me and Daniel can talk about it for a long time. Me and you can talk about it for a long time. I can
Sure.
talk with Kyle. Kyle's very smart.
Yeah.
He's good with all that stuff. He learns like I do. But it just depends what you want to put your time into and what you want to find out and figure out, really, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And you have to find what you're most interested in. And once you're most interested in and you want to gain that knowledge, then you start learning and looking like for example, like Jordan Peterson, right? You know, I like listening to him. I still it takes me a while to understand what he's really talking about. But because I was able to listen to him a lot, and I had to, sometimes I had to pause the video, think, look up the words that he says, in the dictionary, and I'd be like, wow, that makes sense. And then once I learned the context of what he's saying and the vocabulary, then you start learning more about what he's actually trying to say, and then you just don't write him off. A lot of people write these people off like, oh, that dude's crazy, or
They don't
that's what
understand.
yeah, they don't understand, right? Or they only
Hey, that's sad though. Look,
yeah,
I just realized something. That's sad though. Look how we're learning compared to I thought you're supposed to learn in school.
dude,
Just
to be
saying.
honest, I've learned more on YouTube how to fix stuff, how to talk properly, more vocabulary on YouTube or on the internet than I have in school, man.
School's a waste of time for me.
Dude.
I always say, even my dad said, he's like, dude, because I was like, uh, I could have gone to probably like a good school, maybe if I would have played like senior year for soccer. It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
but just saying, like, I could have gone maybe to a good school, but it's like I hated school. I didn't even want to go to school. So it's like
Yeah, well,
that was really never a thing for me. I didn't really care anyways, you know?
yeah, well, you know that film Goodwill Hunting with Matt Damon?
Yeah, I do.
Have you seen it?
Long time ago.
Yeah, well, it's like something similar, right? That guy didn't go to school and he's like a math genius
I'm
and he
not
doesn't.
that, but
No, yes, I know. Me neither. But I'm saying like, he didn't like school at all, right? But he made fun of that guy in the pub because he's like, dude, you just spent $100,000 on an education that I just was like $1 in late charges at the library. You know what I mean?
dude, that's facts. I'm not lying, dude. That's the truth.
Dude, that's facts, bro.
Dude, all these people for instance someone that like paints your house and they're a professional, they didn't
Yeah,
automatically weren't born like that and they could paint a house and knew what to do. They learned and they've just got good at it. So it's not like you can't do the same thing. Are you just willing to go that route and try it and do all that? That's all. That's how I always think. Like I'd be willing to, if I had the money, I'd be willing to learn everything on my own straight if I could
sure.
afford to fix it and go through the issues. But sometimes it's not feasible if you don't have all that money, you know?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the money will help you navigate that way, right? But anybody has a chance to be. I mean, look, come on, man. I mean, if you really wanted to, and you wanted to be a black belt in, for example, judo, I'm sure you can do it if you watch like videos and practice and spar and go through this. You'd be able to do it. You know what I mean?
You're right.
But if you're
It's,
gonna willing to take the time.
well, see, that's someone that's super fucking dedicated and smart. Like, I mean, I'm just not like you're gonna go pay. You'd rather go pay to have somebody teach you, and it's like,
Sure.
yeah, you could really teach yourself. You really can, but are you willing to put in the effort? You'd rather take the lazy route and pay money and have somebody teach you. You know?
Exactly. And sometimes the reason why a teacher is kind of good is because they're the one that provides all the resources. And then you just go and take that all in. You know what I mean?
Or they see something that you don't when you know
Right. Exactly.
when you're
So,
training or whatever.
so like, for example, I like to drink wine, right? I don't know that much about it. So I watch YouTube videos about it, like, legitimate ones that are not arrogant. And I'm like, wow, I know all these wine terms and all these wine tools. And I was like, wow, this looks pretty cool. So now when I go to a wine shop, I'm more informed. What's wrong with
Yeah.
that? Nothing, right? And what I don't understand is why wouldn't somebody take this information in to improve themselves than rather be stuck in your ignorance. It's like, fuck, man. I don't want to be ignorant. I don't want to be proud of my ignorance. I want to be able to have conversations and be a little bit smarter than I was before the day before.
Well,
You know?
people are always scared to ask questions. I don't understand that. I don't give a fuck, bro. I'll put someone through the ringer asking them questions because I'm learning as well. I'm not trying to come back and go through the same thing without knowing the answer when I could have known the answer the first time when it happened.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, that's what kind of frustrates me about some of the conversations that you can have with some of the people in the US. I'm not blaming the US, but it's kind of common over there where like it's always been told to me that you're supposed to ask questions, right? You're supposed to improve yourself, but then you talk to people who don't want to improve themselves, and then they're like stuck. You know what I mean?
Or you get sometimes you get those random people that don't want you asking questions. It's like, what the fuck? It's weird.
That is definitely weird, especially in a place like that.
They don't want you to know. That's why.
Yeah, either they don't want you to know. That's a good point. Or they have information that they don't want to release because they know and they don't want you to know for some fucking, they always say like for public safety. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, fuck
I don't
that.
know. Yeah, dude, that's fucked up.
Fuck those people.
Dude. Yeah, man. Dude,
know.
I don't know what's about those fucking people, man. But I don't know, man. I like having conversations, whether it's fucking serious conversations, funny conversations. I don't know. I'm, I'm not smart enough to have conversations with people like fucking Lawrence Strauss or
Yeah, you
fucking
would.
Jordan. Well, maybe, I don't know,
Bro.
I
A
don't
lot of
know.
that shit's like scripted and shit. A lot of that shit's probably not even live, and like they get helped. I'm sure that shit's recorded. They're not doing something like we are, where it's just off the top. I bet
Yeah,
you half.
this is off the cuff, man.
That's what I'm saying. I bet you half of those people couldn't even do that if they wanted to.
Yeah, probably not. Plus, it's not even in their own setting. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah. But do you think like Joe Rogan is scripted a little bit?
Yeah, I told you he's on their side. That's what Cooper said. I can't find the video, but Daniel was saying the same thing. Look, I'll give you a perfect example. He told you to take he told you not to take the vaccine, but take a different drug, fool. Ivermectin or whatever. I can't even pronounce it. Whatever that is.
Oh,
it's a drug. It's a drug too.
That ivermectin or whatever it is.
Yeah, dude. That's a drug too. And then not even that, him and Alex, the guy on InfoWars or whatever.
Alex Jones.
Yeah, him, Cooper always talks shit on that fool, and that fool's like a part, like works with those people. That's why he can always predict what's going to happen. And he predicted the war was going to happen last year. That's because he works with those motherfuckers, bro. And there's a picture of Alex Jones and fucking Joe Rogan. They got their hands around each other, and right behind is like a devil fucking poster. And yeah, dude, I'm telling you, bro, they're all on the same side because you should watch them talk about Bill Cooper. Watch them talk. They talk shit on him. Dude, bro,
let's see. Joe Rogan, Alex Jones picture?
No, put him like Joe Rogan, Bill Cooper.
Okay. Joe Rogan, Bill Cooper.
We don't have to. I mean, we can listen a little bit, but I got to get up probably in like 10 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. No. I want to see the picture.
I haven't even. No, that's fine. I'm saying like 10 more minutes because I got to feed the dogs and I haven't even fed them.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah.
That'd be 50 solid minutes. And then tomorrow we could do whatever. I'll plan. We can talk for an hour and a half, 2 hours if you want.
Sounds good, man. I just want to see the picture. Joe Rogan, Alex Jones picture?
No. Put it on YouTube. It's a video.
On YouTube. It's a video.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, you know what we'll do? We'll leave the video for tomorrow.
Okay, that's cool with me.
Yeah, because I want to see that video. That's interesting, man.
This is what I'm gonna tell you, dude. Like, this is another thing I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Not someone telling the truth is not gonna have that many followers, bro. Everything we just talked about, not like, and he has a seeing eye on his fucking podcast. The Joe Rogan thing in the middle of the forehead, that's the fucking Freemason fucking sign. With that eye.
Yo, you mean when the intro is and it's spinning?
Yeah, dude. That's the Freemason shit. That fool's a part of that shit, man. I'm telling you.
That's a good point.
Nobody that's not on a platform is not fucking famous. If you're on a platform and you're fucking famous, dude, you're a part of that shit because they put you on that shit. There's no other way, dude. There's no other way. It's impossible. They make the rules, bro. If you're gonna be famous, you're gonna be in the movies, you're gonna have a big Instagram account. They make the rules. I'm telling you.
Of course, because they're gonna say like, "Hey, you could be a social influencer at the highest level."
So just because he talks shit on these people, they're liars and stuff and manipulators. Just because, how do you know he's not like just messing around with like his friends and talking shit and like it's not even a big deal because it's all play for us. But then when they go behind the scenes, it's like whatever. I'm just saying, man.
That's a good point.
That's how it is. I swear.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you know what we can do? We can talk more about that tomorrow, man, on the next episode.
I'll try to find that. I'll try it today. Well, I have my computer on now, so and I need to plug it in. I'll try today to find that video. I need to find that one because I tried to send it to Dan and I couldn't find it. But I'm gonna try to find that video because that shit's key. It explains to the T exactly why those two are on that same side. That's interesting. Man. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but I'm just saying. But if you start looking at his videos and stuff related, and you might be able to put it together as well. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. So that's really interesting. I have to check into that, man, because that's a good lead.
I'm not trying to talk shit on Joe Rogan. I used to like him too.
No, I like Joe Rogan for his guests. That's but no, I get it, man. But
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of people that are on a platform anymore. I'm just really not.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Especially one of these bigger platforms, right? Because they're there for a reason. That's a good point.
Hi, buddy.
Yeah,
my dog came over. I'll just sit by me. Yes. I'm gonna feed you. Hold on. I know. Hold on. Bubba.
So, all right, man. You want to wrap up tonight's show?
Yeah. What do you want to? Hold on, you two. Hold on. Relax. Yeah. Do you want to? Not you. Sorry. Do you want to? Do you want to do the same time tomorrow, or do you want to do 11:30? So it'd be 8 for you if it was the same time today. If not tomorrow, it'd be 8:30 if it was 11:30. Correct?
Yeah, but tomorrow is Friday, right?
Yeah. Do you want to do tomorrow or no?
Yeah, I want to do tomorrow. I'm more free tomorrow. You know what I mean, time wise.
Well, just tell me, so I'll walk the dogs in the morning, and then I'll set it all up so it's just like ready to go, and
so
then
about
have them fed, fucking everything's good. You know, we could just sit, relax, and just talk.
Sure. So about 8:30 my time.
So 11:30 mine. Perfect. That's better.
Yeah. Cool, man.
All right.
So, all right, man. So I think we're gonna wrap up the show for today.
That was a good one. I had a good time. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no worries, man. That was good. That was good, solid content, man. That was good.
It'll get better. I think we'll improve more and more and more. So
yeah, exactly. Well, once we just keep on doing this, man, it'll be clean.
Sounds good to me, brother.
All right, man. So once again, thank you for coming onto the pod. Always a good conversation.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, always. You're more than welcome, man. Always a pleasure. So, hey, listen, all those people out there that are listening, please, if you listen to this, subscribe to the channel. Listen to if you're so kind, subscribe to this channel, give it a like. We're the hottest, newest English-speaking podcast here in the Czech Republic. Drew, thanks for coming, man, and we'll see everybody on the next episode, the next podcast, tomorrow evening, man. Drew, thanks again. Solid.
Make sure if you watch the video, share it, please. Share the information.
Yeah.
Get it out there.
Yeah, share it. Exactly.
And thank you for having me, Steve. Have a good day.
Yeah. All right, Drew. Always a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Peace.
Later.